Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Richardson and I'm the WCPW review guy, and I don't know, is it weird? Like, I do eat a lot of chicken. I'm noticing the other day like I was urinating into the toilet and like the smell kind of wafted up and it had an odd odor of chicken. Like, does people's urine smell like chicken? Is that even relevant? Should I even be talking about that right now? I don't know. Let's move on to the WCPW Loaded review. This is the October, what was that, 12th when it aired edition. Second to last, guys, second to last. I want to throw that out there real quick. Like, I get the rebranding, I get that. Like, do we have to change like the name of all the pay-per-views and all the, like, are they just like trying to like wipe the slate clean completely? Like, what is the weekly show going to be called now? I love the name Loaded. I love the name of like most of the pay-per-views they've done. They've been great. Like, why? I like the fact that, like, you know, we had, like, you know, Stacked and Built to Destroy, Refuse to Lose. Like, we've already hit like the 1 year mark on each of those. I like that we're building this legacy, and it just seems like they're just like, nah, it don't matter no more. We're gonna start a whole new thing. I don't know. Just kind of odd. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, here we go. Bradshaw, Kennedy, commentating, just great, just great. I know I say that every week, but it's true. Like, every week I find something new about these guys that I just love even more. So they do a great job, as always. And we'll kick things off. New WCPW champion, Marty Scurll, comes out. The villain. And it's insane because, like, literally, dude, they love him. The crowd loves him. And he even makes the point to be like, you know, you guys know I'm the bad guy, right? Like, I am the villain. They don't give a shit. They boo for a second, they go right back to just cheering him, which is great. I mean, it is like that Stone Cold kind of thing where it's like, you know, in reality, Austin's a bit of an asshole. Like, that character is not a good guy, but dude, people loved him. It worked. It worked. So, same thing here. So he's out there kind of talking, and out comes Prestige, all 5 members. Like, it's funny because, like, Joe Coffey does a thing where he don't really come out there initially. Like, you can already see they're kind of bickering a little bit, and then, you know, they all 5 come out. So, and then, of course, same kind of thing. They surround the ring, and then Hendry's kind of like, you know, it's my title, blah, 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 blah. It's kind of, you know, same thing. And then out comes our GM, Stu Bennett. And, of course, he tells him that, yes, I think, you know, Marty should defend the title tonight against a member of Prestige, but it's not going to be Joe Hendry. It's going to be Travis Banks, which I kind of figured it would be, but it makes perfect sense on a kayfabe level. Like, I don't know, I'm always against, like, that's what I hate about WWE, is I hate the title rematch. Like, you know, I was the former champion, I get the first shot. No, you don't. Fuck off. Go to the back of the line. Like, that's just life. You want to get that shot, you got to re-earn it. So I always hated the automatic, you know, because like, you know, they'd wrestle on a pay-per-view, and then the very next night they'd have the rematch. I'm like, really? This is ridiculous. Or they just set the rematch for the next pay-per-view. I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I don't know. I never care for that. So I do like the fact that, like, Hendry lost, back the line. But then if you look at, you know, at Refuse to Lose, Ligero lost, BT Gunn lost, Hendry lost. The only 2 that won was Travis Banks and Coffey. And it was Banks that scored that pinfall. So, like, not only does it make sense the fact that, like, you know, clearly elsewhere he's been, you know, doing awesome on the independent scene and, you know, really, you know, making a name for himself and working his way up. But, like, you know, here it makes sense because, like, you know, he's the only one that really did kind of walk out with his head held high at Refuse to Lose. Like, there's no way Coffey can be proud, you know, from a kayfabe standpoint, there's no way Coffey can be proud of that performance. Like, he lost his cool, got his ass handed to him, got tossed out of the ring, and it was Banks that who, you know, made the save and made the win. So, now, as soon as he was just like, it ain't gonna be Hendry, and of course you get Ligero like, it's gonna be me. And Coffey pulls him out, I was like, no, it's gonna be me. BT Gunn didn't even seem to care, he's just like, huh. And they noticed he wasn't even wearing a Prestige shirt. And that was something that was like a little subtle thing. It's like, yeah, it's like literally now, it's like you can see him starting to come apart the seams. But when I'm looking out there, I'm thinking to myself, before he even said it, I was like, it's gotta be Travis Banks. Like, if it would have been anybody else, I would have bitched about it a little bit. I'd been like, like, it would have been a big deal, but I'd been like, no one else deserves a shot. Like, out of those 5, it'd be Banks. And they make it. And of course, Hendry looks really upset. And they all just start kind of walking away. And it's funny because I'm thinking to myself, you know, realistically, the Prestige would just beat the shit out of Scurll. Like, he's in there. Like, I'm sure Young Bucks are in the back. They come out, make the save. Maybe, I don't know, whoever else they're feuding with right now, maybe come out there, try to stand for Prestige. But, like, you know, it initially start with a beatdown. And Hendry just walks away. And I was like, no, that's actually very realistic, too. Because think about it. You know, they beat down Marty right now. He's going to be very weak for Banks to win. Hendry don't want Banks to win. Like, let's be realistic. Hendry created Prestige to help him win and keep a title. Like, that's the main thing. So, and once again, the rest of them, they don't have any kind of focus or motive. They're just kind of independently doing their own thing right now. So, like, yeah, there's really nothing, and it was just really nice to see, like, they all just kind of walked away. And the last one in the ring is Banks and Marty. Like, you just think, clearly, it would be a cheap way to beat them down. Of course, Stu Bennett ain't gonna care. Like, he even kind of made it clear, like, listen, I used to be those guys. Like, I was a bad guy. So I can't condemn them for, being villains. I'm a villain, So he just kind of like, I don't see him punishing them if they beat the shit out of, Marty, but they didn't. Hendry. It's all subtle. It's all, there's different layers to this, and I love that. So, yeah, that's how we kick things off. And, of course, Marty's left in the ring. Of course, huge reaction. Like I said, he's white hot right now. So I'm really glad he's the champion. And like I said, and the Prestige are just well hated right now. So, although when I did yell out Travis Banks' name, there was a pretty good pop for that too. So, which that could be a sign of things to come later on down the road. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's get into the first match. Bad Bones versus Gabriel Kidd. Another one that they just slowly been building up. That's something I'm a little worried. I'm optimistic. I stay positive. But I am a little worried that once we take this month and a half off or whatever until we get the rebranding, the iPay-per-view, We Are Defiant, when that happens, I really hope they don't just try to wipe the entire thing clean. Like, storyline. Like, remember, I didn't watch it. I don't remember, I'll be honest with you. I didn't see it at all, but I remember hearing about it and reading about it. But, like, when WCW, kind of did, their relaunch, and they just stripped everybody their titles, and there's, and even storylines were just, stopped, no. We're going to restart now. I really hope they don't do that. Because this is a perfect example of, a feud that just organically grew. Like, literally, it starts with, Bad Bones beating the shit out of Prince Amin in the locker room. Kid kind of gets up in his face, which I really think he should try to swing, but whatever. And then it led to the the 6-man tag match where Bad Bones busted his fucking ribs up. No, it was wait, was it Bad Bones or was it Gracie? I can't remember. Somebody hit him the ribs or hit him the ribs of the bat. I think it was Gracie. I think Bones was going to Gracie. Either way, the feud started there. Bad Bones kept capitalizing on that, and then Kid came back and cost Bad Bones the hardcore title that refused to lose. So this is just one of those things slow build. And I just don't. I just as things are building up, I don't want to see them just get wiped out when Defiant Wrestling becomes the main thing. When it's no longer WCPW, it's Defiant Wrestling. I don't want them to be like, that was old. We're gonna go, none of those feuds even matter. We're moving forward over here. Brand new, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but either way, this match kicks off right before the bell. They actually start fighting. I didn't even hear a bell. Now, Bradshaw did say, he goes, well, the bell has sounded. I didn't hear it. And I could have sworn that when they finally get in the ring, I see the referee do this number, ring it, and they never rung it. But I'm nitpicking at this point. This match, really good stuff. I really dug it right here. I will say one thing that was crazy. Because I'm thinking to myself, you're in the front row, anything can happen. Action spills into the arena all the time, or into the crowd all the time. At one point, Bones, he runs the ropes and he does a suicide dive on the Kid. Dude, the gargoyle just flipped over into the crowd. I was like, holy shit. Getting your money's worth that night, guys. Getting your money's worth that night. Yeah, for the most part, it was just Bad Bones targeting the ribs. Toward the end, Kid has, he fought back pretty good, but for the most part, I want to say it was Bones dominate a majority of this match, but he goes out because he has him beat. He has him dead. He keeps trying to pick him out. I kept waiting for that surprise small package. Because Kid's really gone away from, small package city. But I was waiting for it, because he kept, he's dead. He's just, kept picking him up and dead weight. So Bones fuck it. I'm going to tear this dude's ass up. Goes out there and grabs his bat. Grabs his bat, comes in there. He's going to tear him up. Goes to swing, misses, and then Kid hits him with the running kick, front Kid kick. I don't know what he calls it. Someone told me once, and I ain't gonna lie, I totally forgot what it was. But they never mention it on TV. They never say, oh, he just hit him with the Gabriel Kidd kick face thing. No, he's just always oh, the kick. So I'm just gonna call it the kick. Hits him with the kick. 1, 2, 3. Gabriel Kidd wins it. A great, solid opening match right there. And you know what I really love about this too is the fact that Gabriel Kidd, to me anyways, now I don't know, maybe you guys can disagree. If you do, let me know in the comment section down below. But for me personally, I feel like now Kidd actually looks more credible. You can't be the underdog fighter your entire thing, because it works early on, but then you do. And I feel like he's picked up a lot of legitimate, credible wins over some big name people. Zack Sabre Jr., Joe Coffey, and here Bad Bones. And never once in this match did I feel like Gabriel Kidd was an underdog. I didn't realize he was. And at one point, I think Bradshaw even said things like, "Well, this was considered an upset." I'm like, it really wasn't. Like, I guess in a sense that, like, you know, Kidd's ribs were busted up, and you know, maybe that. But I think as far as like them on an even playing field, no. I think Kidd literally is. He's moved beyond that kind of rookie, scrappy little fighter trying to work his way up, a rising star, if you will. I think now, I mean, at least when I watch him, I see him more as a competent, competitive wrestler. You know, he's no longer just that little guy. He's a wrestler now. He's graduated onto that. So I don't know. I hope everybody else is kind of seeing that too. I don't know. But yeah, in this match, I thought it was really good. Once again, I love Bad Bones. And I think if this match would have took place a few months ago, I would have been like, no, Bones should have just killed him. But no, here I'm just like, no, I mean, there's no way Kidd can get a clean victory over Joe Coffey and then, you know, people complain that he's getting a win over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally like he's proven himself time and time again. He may not be the internet champion anymore, but guess what? I think he's still a great wrestler. So yeah, really good way to kickstart the match, or kickstart the evening. And now we move on. Havoc Rules match for the tag titles. Or sorry, Jimmy fucking Havoc Rules match. We got War Machine going up against Primate and Jimmy Havoc. And once again, I really like the fact that, you know, the Primate and Jimmy Havoc, when they came out separately. Because they're not really a legit tag team, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mean legit, you know what I mean? They're not formally a tag team. It's like they are just like two guys who are kind of band together for this single cause. War Machine comes out, of course, with the tag titles and Primate's hardcore title. Remember, that's kind of how it's all started. Which I still take issue with that. I just feel like it's the most ridiculous. Which I don't know War Machine outside WCPW, so maybe they do this all the time. Maybe they're just bullies. But it just seems like they did this whole match with like Young Bucks, and they did this whole like, we got honor, yes, boom, pound the forearms, we can hug it out. We're honorable, good guys. Oh, look at Primate, look at this tie behind. You want your title? You can't have your title. It's my title now. It was like, what? What? So anyways, we get out there. Of course, Jimmy Havoc comes out with a roll of duct tape. I wonder if that'll factor in later. Puts it on the the commentator's table. And then, yeah, War Machine comes out. And, of course, they, you know, disrobe their garb, their titles, put them to the side. And then they're like, nope, fuck this. We fight over here, and they get into the crowd, and I love it. I was like, yes! And then out comes Primate and Havoc, and they go in there, and dude, they tear it down. And that's what I liked about this match. This is what, you gotta think, and once again, kayfabe, I know. In kayfabe world, you gotta be thinking, like, every tag team that has fallen to War Machine, they're probably sitting around going, shit, why didn't we use weapons? Like, we got close. We got close to beating War Machine and win those titles, and it was no DQ every time. Maybe we should have got the chair, huh? Yeah, you probably should have, jackasses. So Primate, Jimmy Havoc, fighting into the crowd. They're brawling through the entire thing. I will say one thing I love. It was subtle. It was a little tiny thing. But I noticed that whenever Primate would hit Rowe in the head, because, you know, Rowe does a thing where he'll headbutt their punches, you know, and just, you know, his head's hard. Watch Primate during this match. Every time he would go to, like, punch him out, he'd be like, shit, my hand. And it's just, it's subtle. The commentators didn't even really focus on that. It was beautiful. I was just like, yes, because, you know, Rowe's supposed to have a really hard head. It's kayfabe, people. It's the world I live in, and I love it. So, yeah, they battle up to the crowd at one point, or up to the stage. At one point, Havoc's down there, and he's getting his ass handed to him by both War Machine. And dude, Primate comes out nowhere, just like launches himself off the stage on the both of them out there. Ah, freaking beautiful. We bust out a ladder. They get slammed onto that. They actually put that between. And it's great. Referees just like, crowd, get the fuck out of the way. They set it between, you know, the ring and the thing, where it kind of slopes down, but it doesn't matter. It's a fucking ladder. That don't hurt, and you get slammed onto that. Havoc does this thing where he gets a picture out, and he paper cuts somebody. God damn, that's just freaking brutal. Yeah, you know, War Machine literally hitting all their shit. Now, we've seen this time and time again. They usually hit everything they possibly can, especially in these later, you know, or, you know, more recent matches. They throw everything they got at them, you know, but then they usually hit like one big move and it, you know, pull off. But here, they're the same thing. They're kind of hitting everything they got against Primate, against Havoc, and each time they're popping up. And I'm just like, and a few times I'm just like, well, this is the end of the match, and I was like, holy shit. Because I ain't gonna lie, here's what I expect. Here's what was in my mind. Now, this is the smarky side. This is smarky schmark. Where I was just like, okay, here's how the match is going to play out. Like, I'm so arrogant sometimes. I don't mean to be. I really don't. But like a lot of times, as I'm sitting there watching, I can't help but be like, well, here's how they're going to do it. Like, I know how they're going to do it. There's no predictable, or everything's too predictable. There's nothing that's unpredictable anymore. I figured, War Machine was just going to, hell of a match. Knew it was going to be a hell of a match. Knew it was probably going to be the best tag match that War Machine has been in so far, just as far as brutality goes. But I figured War Machine was going to win, but then they'd hand the hardcore title over to Primate. A sign of respect. Like, you know what? Okay, you didn't beat us, but goddamn it, you took us to the limit. There you go. That's your title. That's how I thought it was going to play out. So, every time they kept taking down, either Havoc or Primate, it was just like, shit. They keep kicking out. Like, oh, I'm not expecting that. But then, same thing. Havoc and Primate was throwing everything they had at War Machine to get them down. 1-2, they kick out. I feel like I'm leaving. There's another high spot. I feel like I'm leaving out. Doesn't matter. Get to the end of the match, and they got Hanson outside, and of course they duct tape his hand to the fucking guardrail, and not just look. No, they used damn near that entire fucking row, and Hanson's caught out there, but they get in there, and Rowe's in there. He's fighting them off, doing a pretty good job. He's doing the headbutts and shit. He incapacitates Primate, and then of course he has Havoc fucked up, and of course he gets the 2 chairs and he sets them up, facing each other. Kind of the same thing that happened to Havoc at Refuse to Lose, but that time it was on top of a table. Either way, you get those 2 chairs like that and have Havoc in the ring, it's not going to turn out good. So he has it set up, and he's got Havoc on the top rope. He's going to go for a suplex, or a superplex if you will. And he goes up there, and I was like, oh shit, but then here comes Primate. Boom, gets the punches in there, gets underneath him, power bombs Rowe through the chairs, and then here comes Havoc with a double foot stomp. 1, 2, 3. Oh! New tag team champions! New tag team champions! Primate, Jimmy Havoc. Holy shit. I popped huge. And I felt bad because I did kind of... I normally don't live tweet just because I don't want to spoil it for anybody else. And I apologize. I did. I couldn't help it. It was the biggest win. Like, literally, this was the biggest win for Primate. Like, and he's had a great storied career, but god damn it, he and Jimmy Havoc took down War Machine. No one has been able, some of the greatest tag teams in WCPW, outside WCPW, has come to try to take War Machine down, and they couldn't do it. And these 2 guys band together. There's 2 guys who have nothing but respect for each other, who are formed because of that respect. They have been through some hardcore battles together, Havoc and Primate. And guess what? There's a mutual respect that has grown over that time. And when Primate needed some help, and he wasn't asking for help. He was not asking for help. But he had War Machine in front of him. He was going to take him on himself, but Havoc came out. I got your back. We'll take care of it later. And they did it. They climbed the mountain that is War Machine, and they conquered it. Holy shit. Match of the night. Match of the night. Oh, I loved it. Every part of that was just great. War Machine gets free, or Hanson gets free, War Machine's in there, but they give them their respect. All right, you did it. You guys did it. Tonight you were the better man, or the better team. And Primate is the first ever WCPW double champion. Because not only is he the co-holder of the tag titles, he's also hardcore champion. How effing epic is that? Ah, I freaking love it. So yes, Primate, Jimmy Havoc, new WCPW Tag Team Champions. Ah, it's great. Just freaking great. Alright, so up next, moving on, we got some women's action. Isn't that crazy? Like, for months I've been saying we need more women's wrestling. Like, it's the division is so... And we finally get it right before we're like, shutting the doors and doing a hiatus. Like, it's ridiculous. They better pick it right back up where they left off. Because, like, literally, we got this next match, we got Little Miss Roxy. We got Ava Story. We also got B. Priestley. We got Viper coming back next week. They're going to mix it up right there. You got Veda Scott and Kaylee Ray. Like, we got more women going on right now than we have ever in the history of WCPW. And they're just like, we're taking a hiatus now. That's ridiculous. Like 4 months. Like fucking 4 months went by with like nothing, and there was like, we got all this action. Look at all this women's action now. It's like, but we're gonna close the doors. We're gonna take a hike. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a break. Sorry, this is one of those things where it's like literally for months I've been saying, we need to hire some more. Like if all your women left to do other things, fine, I get that. Hire more. You're telling me there's no women on the independent scene over in the UK right now who could jump in there? Pick up the reins for a couple months? Nobody? And then as soon as we get them back, they're like, they're back, but yeah, we're done. We got two more loaded, and that's it. We're going. Ridiculous. Anyways, so Little Miss Roxy is going up against Ava Story. Here's what's crazy about this match. Now I've said this last week when I did my Refuse to Lose review, and I got it bears to be mentioned again. Little Miss Roxy has really picked up her game. Like, I was really impressed with this match and with her. Now, I can't say much about Ava's Story, but once again, she was impressive last week. So that was my first time I ever seen Ava Story wrestle. So, like, as far as first impressions go, incredible. Now, I'm not saying Little Miss Roxy was, bad, but you can just tell she was very green in those first few months when she did it. Like, it just, and that's usually the kind of the stigma that, and I'm speaking for myself, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but when I would watch women's wrestling back in the day, because back in my day when I watched it, it was diva wrestling and it was horrible. But it's very slow, it's very sloppy, it's just like, the matches don't really have much impact, or the moves don't have much impact. It's very, there's a reason why, once again, I don't want to offend anybody, because really it's the way WWE portrayed it and the people they chose, but there's a reason why, people would say like Divas matches were just the bathroom breaks, or, time to go get a snack out of the refrigerator. And it's unfortunate because, and I'm glad to see it has come a long way. And, especially, and once again, I can't really speak for elsewhere because I don't watch elsewhere, but here in WCPW, like all the women, put on 110%. And this match shows it. Like literally fast, crisp moves. Everything, and it was fucking brutal. Like literally, these girls are like hitting the shit out of each other, and it looked incredible. And it's one of those things where it's like, I know at least recently on Twitter there's a whole thing about women's wrestling, but it really does kind of make you go like, you know what? We shouldn't even say it's women's wrestling more. This is just wrestling. That's how good it is, and it was. I gotta say, these next two matches, which I'll talk a little bit about the mixed match in a second, but especially this match really impressed me. And I gotta say, Little Miss Roxy, she has come a long way. So really happy to see, she's finally, and then the crowd. That's the other thing. The crowd was cheering her. She's the heel. She's the heel. She comes out to a pretty good pop, but then throughout the match, boom, people loving this girl. It was insane. Like, I was just really shocked that, like, every time she'd hit a big impact move, dude, the crowd went nuts. And I was like, you realize she's the bad girl, right? Like, she's the one who's, antagonizing this whole thing, but anyways, I thought that was really great. Of course, the kind of storyline here was that, they were both in that mixed tag match from Refuse to Lose. But of course, it was the men who did the final pinfall, to figure out the match. So, in Little Miss Roxy's mind, she's like, well, I was never beat. Ava Story never beat me. So, yeah, they had this match here. I gotta say, Little Miss Roxy dominated quite a bit of this match, which I thought was incredible. The end comes when Drake runs out to, I guess, interfere, distract, if you will. And, of course, it does work. Story looks the other way, starts going after that or whatever. And then Jay Lethal comes out. Him and Drake get into it on the outside. And then, of course, whenever... with the distraction of Ava Story looking out that way, Little Miss Roxy comes up from behind, backcracker, 1, 2, 3, that's it. Over, Little Miss Roxy wins, and I was like, yes, 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 really good match, really liked it, and yeah, just glad to see Little Miss Roxy just rocking it out there right now. So, and I don't want to take nothing away from Ava Story either. Once again, she did really good. And that's the thing, like, I have nothing to say. It's not a bad thing. It's just like, no, she just came in, did a great job. No, these women put on a hell of a match. So kudos to both women. And once again, really glad to see Roxy, pick up the win, because once again, I don't know how long Ava Story will be over here. Like, I know, she wrestles elsewhere. I think they said, like, I think they mentioned like Ring of Honor and Impact, or whatever. But we know Little Miss Roxy's a mainstay, so I'm glad to see her get the Duke and, hopefully move up. So then up next we got the mixed tag match, which once again, it's an intergender tag match, people. I know, semantics, but still. But the match was between Mike Bailey and Veda Scott up against David Starr and Kaylee Ray. And right there I thought it was it's an interesting dynamic there because, you got Veda Scott, who's clearly the heel, came out and attacked both Kaylee Ray and Bea Priestley after their match at Refuse to Lose. Pretty much just said, like, you know what, I'm the new girl here, took out the top contenders, I'm next in line. Kaylee Ray, who's always just been a face here in WCPW. And then you got Mike Bailey and David Starr, who, at this point, was, they had a match at Refuse to Lose, number one contender match, I believe. And then, David Starr, who was, throughout the entire match, was losing his cool, kind of, and at the end, whenever they went to go, shake the hands, or when Bailey went to go shake his hand, of course, Starr was like, oh, and just complete dick. completely, I mean, I wouldn't say he's a full-blown heel, but he's definitely more of the heel than Bayley. So you would just assume Veda Scott and David Starr would be the partners against Ray and Bayley, and they didn't. It was the opposite there. Which once again, I guess from a kayfabe standpoint, in sports, if they're just randomly pairing teams up, they don't go like, well, which one's the crowd like and who do they hate? We're gonna put the hated ones together in the no, they just throw them together. And I think in reality, obviously the way that Veda Scott and Mike Bailey is making out the entire fucking match, I'm sure they're dating and they're just like, we'll put them together. They're a couple. Why not? From a kayfabe standpoint, though, it was just very interesting dynamic, and I really liked it because I mean, it was kind of like, will it work? And once again, on the Kaylee Ray, David Starr side, I kind of figured there'd be a little more tension. In fact, I figured that's how the match was going to end, was with one of the heels turning on their partner. Either it was going to be Veda Scott, just getting frustrated with Mike Bailey and, whatever, or David Starr just walking out on Kaylee Ray. Either way, that's what I figured it was going to go. And it didn't, but I was okay with that. In fact, this match, had it not been for the tag title match earlier, this would have been my match of the night. Like, literally, this match was just freaking awesome right here. And now, okay, I don't want to come off like a pig. I really don't. When it comes to intergender matches, like, I'm all for equality. I am. And I know it's wrestling, so you can make it look legit. But, like, Veda Scott, she is like 4 feet of fury. Like, she is so small. Now, when she's fighting Kaylee Ray, it looks great. But, like, she's in there, like, throwing around David Starr, and I was like, come on. Like, in real life, I'm just saying, I know I'm going to get some shit for this, and I expect it, and please, drop your shit down there, and I'll read it and take your verbal punishment. If one of these guys were kind of fighting a woman, he would just punch her in the face, like, 5 times. She'd go down like Rihanna, and he'd just be like, bam, 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 bam. 1, 2, 3, over. I'm sorry, I don't want to be a dick, but that's true. Now, the only thing that kind of works here is that Starr and Bailey are small wrestlers. Right now on the indie scene it's a small man's game right now. So it does kind of, and Kaylee Ray, she's average sized woman, so I mean she kind of works. But once again the guys are smaller, so the fact that she's average, it fits in perfectly. But Veda Scott's tiny. Like there's a scene where like they literally like the guy, and they were okay. Before I get to that part, the whole match the girls are working with the guys, like keeping up with the guys, which fine, whatever, I'll buy into it, okay? Because they didn't go brawling here, which if they would have went brawling, depending on how it goes, I mean, I guess, if the women have the weapons, then yeah, it can work, but I'm sorry, if you're just in a straight up fist fight with somebody, I gotta go guys. But the girls are keeping up with the guys, but then at one point, both guys, it is a really bad comedy spot. I love this match, but there are just certain little things I'm a grandpa about, where the guys had the girls on their shoulders. And I'm like, really? Like, this is a long-ass sequence, and these girls haven't got out of this yet. Like, at least like, try to gouge an eye or elbow in the fucking face. No, they're just like, we're gonna lay here and take it. And the whole time he's like, don't put the girl down, don't drop her. I'll drop yours, put them down. And I'm like, are we really doing this? And then as soon as they put the girls down, the girls like bust out these wicked Canadian destroyers. Don't get me wrong. Looked awesome. Like, I was popping, like, yes! I'm entertained. This isn't real. Took me out of the kayfabe part of it, but whatever. It looked, incredible. It was just like, really? Like, David Starr just got taken out by Veda Scott with a Canadian destroyer. Like, she just like powered him over, like, fucking cram your head into the fucking mat. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, the match is great. Kudos to all 4 competitors. I'm just saying, in like a real life fight, Veda would not be that bad. I'm just saying, like, she would just get her face pounded in. Kaylee Ray, she looks like a scrapper. Like, Kaylee Ray looks like, she'd get a good, like, she'd kick my ass probably, and I'd just be like, If I go with Veda, she'd probably still kick my ass, but like I'd have a better shot with Veda Scott because I feel like I got the weight obviously, so I think I can take her with that. But who knows? I don't know. She made Canadian Destroyer my ass and take me down completely, so that'd be the end of that. Could you imagine me taking a Canadian Destroyer? Because I mean, you gotta. Anyways, but no, this match was really good. I think one of my favorite little moments was poor Veda Scott. She was down, and like Starr gets behind her, like bridges her up on her neck, and like Kaylee Ray runs her up and like drop hits her in the face. I'm like, son of a bitch. I will say this was probably my favorite match as far as commentary goes because Kennedy was just. He kept referring to like the kiss, like I want to kiss, because the whole time Veda Scott is like literally just sucking face with Mike Bailey, and you're just like, really? So unprofessional on any level, but I'm not gonna lie though. I'm not gonna lie, if I was in the ring and I'm supposed to partner up with Veda Scott, she starts kissing me, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it happen. I mean, what can you do? I'm like, kayfabe or not, I don't care who you are, or any red-blooded male, he's gonna be like, yeah, okay, fuck it, take a kiss. I mean, luckily, Bailey has the wrestling ability to, to pull that out and be able to fight back, whereas I don't. I did kiss and be like, okay, get my ass kicked now. But match comes to an end. We get to the end of it. Bailey and Star outside fighting. And it's funny, at one point, Ray has her back turned. She's looking at whatever's going out there, and Scott goes to roll her up and do like, Kayla Ray just like kicks her in the face, like a mule kick in the face. I'm like, oh shit, because first of all, maybe she botched it, like she didn't quite, she tried to roll her back, but she just lost her footing. But then like instead of Ray like just trying to like fall back with it, she's just like, nope, kicking the fucking face. And I was like, yes, that's awesome. So that was a really cool part right there. But however, as Ray goes to kind of capitalize on that, Veda Scott small packages her, takes her to Small Package City. 1, 2, 3, Veda Scott and Mike Bailey win. Huge thumbs up right there. I love that. Really good match. Once again, just my own personal beliefs aside, still a hell of a match. Once again, probably my number 2 match of the night. Like, it really was just that awesome. You didn't know which way it was going to go. Once again, David Starr was hugely pissed at the end of the match. Like, he's hitting the mat and everything. Kaylee Ray, the face told it all. Like, literally, she was just like, she wasn't really pissed, but she was more disappointed, I'd say. Disappointed by, the way things go. And of course, Mike Bailey and Veda Scott was just like, making out the entire way, like back. So, so there's that right there. So we cut backstage right now, and it's the Prestige all in the locker room. And Travis Banks is just like, I'm going to win this for Prestige. And of course, BT Gunn's like, hey, well, win it for yourself. And it's just this weird kind of dynamic, because it seems like they're all trying to like fake the enthusiasm, but it's like they all know that Hendry wants that title. Now, does it sit well with them? I don't know. You don't know what's going through their minds. Are some of them thinking like, yes, Banks can win this? We're going to show Hendry it's not just his show, it's, it's all of us. Or are they like, no, like, we all got a job. Like, I'm clearly the hardcore wrestler. They're the tag team. Ligero, before, Banks fucked that up, he was the, briefcase holder. We all have a job. So you don't know where they're all at on this. But, of course, Hendry just, he said, guys, stop right now. Don't worry about it. Banks, win or lose, we're going to be here in the locker room waiting on you. And that's the last thing he says to him. And we get to our main event, WCPW title on the line. It's Marty Scurll versus Travis Banks. And hell of a match. I'm not gonna lie, they all hit their stuff. So not really the highlight reel it normally is. I mean, once again, it's a pretty standard match between these two, but that's still great. Like I'm not trying to discount or discredit any of that or talk down about it. I'm not being condescending. But for the most part, they all hit their marks. But it was beautifully done. Once again, Travis Banks, Marty, they're both hell of a wrestler. They're great. They're top of their game. And this was a hell of a main event. But we knew where it was going. Like, you just knew that Banks was not going to win. So it's just one of those things where it's just kind of like, it takes you out a little bit because we don't know what's going to happen. That's when you're like, ooh, who's going to win? But this one was like, well, there's no way Banks is going to win the title tonight. Like, what? But I was waiting for Prestige to maybe interfere or something like that. Anyways, you hit a couple of the highlights. I did like, there's a moment where Marty Scurll, like, he charges into the corner and Banks does a sidestep. He does this all the time, but when he goes to trip him, instead of him like face plant, like Marty does like an entire like cannonball like into the corner. I'm like, oh, it looked impressive like as hell. Like, it looked awesome. But however, eventually Marty breaks the fingers, hits the chicken wing. Banks taps out. Marty Scurll retains his WCPW title, and at the end. Because once again, he's the villain, but I guess he's going to show that sign of respect. He goes to gang fist bump with Travis Banks. And of course, Banks, once again, he's just kind of like, I'm pissed, but fuck, it was a good match. Quick one, rolls out of the ring, and of course, Marty's in there and soaking up that fan, reaction right there, and of course, Travis Banks leaves. And we end with Travis Banks going back to the locker room, and the Prestige is gone. The Prestige is gone. And you gotta think, like, this is gonna be the face turn for Travis Banks right here? Like, is this what's gonna, lead to it? Because think about it this way. Banks was the one who got into an argument with Joe Coffey. Regardless of who's at fault, he argued with Joe Coffey, picked up that win, and Coffey was not happy with him at the end of that. But then Banks ran out there to try to interfere in the Ligero Scurll match in the first place, and it was, that, miscommunication that, messed that up. Once again, can't blame Banks, but, once again, in the minds of Hendry and the others, maybe you can blame Banks. Like, maybe it was like, oh, Banks is trying to become the star of this whole, project, and he keeps messing up. And then here it is, he has his shot at the title. And once again, I don't know why Hendry would be mad, because it is kind of like, clearly he wants the title, so why would he care? But at the same time, it's like, well, he did just do the sign of respect with Marty Scurll, so it's like, You fist bumped him. What the fuck you fist bumped that motherfucker for? He's not prestige. We're the prestige. Like, you don't know, fuck him. So it's just, there's so many different things going on right now. So I'm really loving where this is going. Like, seriously, the storyline is great. And like I said, I just don't want this to like get erased after the hiatus. Like, I'm just hoping that all this carries over. I'm sure it will. I couldn't see them just being like, remember all that stuff that happened before? Well, we're done with that. Like, that's not even relevant now. Here's the real, and I just don't want them to do that. I doubt they will, because once again, I couldn't see them just disbanding the Prestige next week and then starting fresh after that. So, anyways, my final thoughts on Loaded. Incredible. Like, seriously, from start to finish, it was awesome. Really loved it. Loved each of the match. Every match was good. Certain matches were great. The mixed tag match I thought was great. Obviously the tag title match was great. Main event was really awesome too. I loved that. Once again, the opening match was great, or was really good. And then of course the women's title match, solid as well. So I mean, once again, the entire night was just fantastic. And I'm not gonna lie, like I saw the lineup for next week, which I'm sure will be great, but it just seemed like this was the second, like this should have been the last. Like, you should have went out on this note right here. This was such a great edition of Loaded. It just seems like, man, you're at the, like, you know, your next, because we're up, next Loaded's over. Like, that's it. As soon as Loaded comes up next week, we're done with Loaded. That's the last Loaded. So it is kind of like, I'm really curious, like, what they're going to do, like, you know, how they're going to try to top this one. Because that's what you got to do. You got to try to top this one. Like I said, the match there got signed up. They got a, you know, big fatal four-way, I believe. It's Kirby and Coffee, Drake, and Jay Lethal, which I'm looking forward to that. Just A, for the continuing storyline of Drake and Lethal. But B, it's like, with the exception of maybe Lethal, no one can really afford to lose a loss right now. Like, Coffee has been on the worst losing streak ever. The only one win he's had lately was the one he had against, well, he did squash Prince Amin a couple months back, but then he, you know, won the tag match, but it wasn't him that won it. It was, you know, Banks. Kirby just came off a huge win against Alex Gracie, came out of that program on top. He can't take a loss and fall back. But then, you know, Drake, he's been trying to climb up, and just like, he needs to be more credible. So it just seems like this is another match I'm looking forward to, because I'm just like, where are they going to go? Like, who's going to be the one that walks out on this thing on top? And I'm not saying, like, I don't want Jay Lethal to win, because kayfabe-wise, I love Jay Lethal. If he wins, I'm okay with that. I'm cheering like, yes! Jay Lethal, lethal injection, baby. But just, you know, the smarky side of me was like, well, Lethal, you're already top the world, like, but you're the man. Like, you are the man. You don't need this win. So it just, like I said, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, once again, no matter who comes out on that one, I'm gonna be happy with. B. Priestley and Viper. I'm really looking for that match because of the dynamic. Before the, you know, the women's Mae Young Classic, you know, bullshit. It was like, okay, we got Viper, who was, you know, the bodyguard for B. Priestley, who was, at that time, full-on, full-blown heel. Like, there's no redeeming qualities to her at all. And so it was Viper who was constantly fighting the battles. And it was Priestley who's actually, you know, trying to interfere. Because the whole time, if you remember leading up to that match between Kaylee Ray and Viper and Priestley were kind of butting heads a little bit. They were constantly, you know, it was just like miscommunications and whatever, and it's like B. Priest was like, you need to win this way, and Viper's like, let me do my job, I'm doing this. And of course it was the miscommunication where Priestley, you know, hit, you know, Viper in the back with the crutch that got Kaylee Ray the victory and ultimately the women's title. So out of that storyline alone by itself, clearly you would think Viper would be the face because it's Priestley, and I don't mean disrespect, I'm just saying, you know, character wise, Priestley's just being a bitch, cost Viper and herself that title. You know, and Kaylee Ray won. So it's like, clearly she's the heel. Viper, you would think, would be the babyface. But then, after that Kushida attack, and they, you know, when the Prestige attacked Kushida, Will Ospreay, you know, going in, and even though she did try to initially jump in and try to interfere on Will Ospreay's behalf, you know, he's like, no. And she respectfully was like, fine, you know, all right, this is what we're going to do. And the crowd saw that. And once again, you know, it's hard to boo her when she got her ass handed to her by the Prestige. And once again, I was wondering, like, you know, I refused to lose. What, are they gonna boo her? And they didn't, dude. She was super popular. They were, you know, lovingly like B. Priestley. And I was like, yes. But it's like, so what's it gonna be like now? Like, is Viper just gonna be full blown heel? Are they gonna do it? Because once again, I don't mind that gray area when it comes to wrestling. That mixed tag match is the best example. When, like, in my mind, because I've been, you know, wired by WWE for many years, it's got to be good guy versus bad guy every time. No, it doesn't. It's a sport. sports. You just have people wrestle. And so I would like to see maybe both of them kind of, you know, not try to be the bad guy, but not be the good guy either. Like, you know, they're almost like tweeners fighting each other. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to see how they play that out right there. So, yes, next week, and of course, William Slater and Alex Gracie. Once again, no storyline build there, except, you know, Gracie came off his win from Johnny Moss. And, of course, Gracie came from his loss from Kirby. Had to kiss Fat Ligaro's ass. So they're going to kind of intersect right there. Once again, both guys are great wrestlers, so it's going to be really, you know, interesting to see that match. So yeah, next week it's great. And I already announced the Young Bucks will be there, so it's just like, boom! Can't wait to see what happens next week on Loaded. So yeah, this episode was incredible. I'm sorry, I'm at the 40-minute mark right now, and I didn't mean to run this long, but yeah, really loved it. Let me know what you guys thought of Loaded down below. And guys, don't forget, tune in next week. It'll be the final Loaded, and I'll have my review up on Sunday. And yeah, that's all I got. Tune in here in a little bit. I'll be doing my top 10 as well. So that's all I got. Guys, share and subscribe if you haven't already. Show this video that thumb and love, and yeah, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff down there. It's all down there. That's all I got. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.